Good morning. I'm Andrew Lietzo, Executive Director of both the Iowa Landlord Association and Two Rivers REIA of Central Iowa. And I just wanted to take a few minutes this morning to clarify a few things for people who are receiving these invitations to our annual conference, which for the Iowa Landlord Association is April 18th and 19th. And the evening of the 19th, there will be an all-industry reception where we'll bring the two groups together. That would be the Iowa Landlord Association and the Two Rivers Real Estate Investors Association of Central Iowa. Now, because of modern lighting, this is not as evident here as it will be on your documents in front of you. But I just wanted to take a moment with my fancy pointer here, and but I'm using this because my laptop decided today was a good day to die on me. So I'm going to use this fancy pointer, and I'm going to share with you that there's really two conferences going on. This is day 1, April 18th, day 2, April 19th. Day 3 is April 20th, 4 is 21st. There are 3 different locations where we'll have this event. Pretend like you're in Las Vegas and you're at one of the largest consumer electronics shows, and they held the conference or the convention in 7 different hotels. You can go all over Las Vegas or Orlando, places like that, to multiple locations. Well, this is Des Moines. I know we're not quite that big, but we are going to go to 3 different locations. We start out on April 18th, Wednesday, at the Botanical Center at 9 o'clock in the morning. Check-in begins at 8:30, so probably don't want to show up at 9, probably want to show up more like 8:30. And we have a 2-track system for these 2 days. So most of the time, for the 18th and the 19th at the Iowa Landlord Association meeting, we'll have 2 tracks of education going on. Down at Botanical Center, it'll be in the Oak Room and the Walsh Room. But there's one class there for sure that's from 9 to 12. It's about property management, and Roberta McAfee will be teaching that class from 9 to 12. On track 2, there will be 3 different hour-long classes in a different room, probably the Walsh Room. Don't know for sure yet, depends on registrations. But this is how that works for the morning. Then this day we'll have a lunch, probably just a boxed lunch, help to keep the cost down. But it'll be a nice lunch at the Botanical Center, and you're free to take your lunch out into the atrium out there and just relax. Then we'll start again, and this will be a pretty intensive afternoon. There'll be 8 different classes, 4 each on the 2 different tracks. And they're just about 50 minutes long with a question and answer period during that time. So, but that's 1 to 2, 2 to 3. You can see it on your registration form. Now, what's a little confusing to people is that the conference is just getting started on the 18th, but it doesn't end at the afternoon and you go home or something. What happens is we transfer to the next conference venue, which is the Stony Creek Inn, and that's at 5 o'clock. So don't get in your car and drive home and take a nap or anything. Just go straight to the Stony Creek Inn, where we'll have a board welcome reception. That's basically inside the front door on the left-hand side. There's a place where we'll be welcoming and greeting the attendees and members who have come from all across the state to this event. Could very well be the largest event of its type in the state this year. So it's worthy, I think, of having a welcoming committee to greet you there when you come. That's at Stony Creek Inn in Johnston, just off of the interstate on 86th Street, a little bit north. You take your east turn. It's right there on the left-hand side, easy to find. The next morning, well, let me just skip here. One little other thing. We'll do some informal district meeting networking in that evening. So that you're kind of on your own for dinner and you're on your own for some networking, but we just want you to feel welcome, and that really is the kickoff to the next day, which is a day that takes place, there's training that takes place mostly in the ballroom, and also we have a Green Acres room down below. But that's also a 2-track system. Registration on Thursday begins at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we'll start our meetings at 8:30. And from 8:30 to noon, we have the 2-track system. It could be we'll just do one for a while because there's that large ballroom. We have some important announcements and some great presentations and speakers there. So But that's going to be fleshed out here in the next week or two. Then we'll have a luncheon, a sit-down luncheon, probably close to a banquet, but it'll be served in buffet style. To cut costs, we could have a plated meal, but that costs you another $10 a day, and we're just going to give you a good Mama Lacona's buffet, just like we have on Thursdays with the Iowa Landlord Association, a little nicer than that. But that'll be 12 to 1, and then in the afternoon we'll go back to this 2-track system where we have multiple things going on at the same time. Right after lunch, incidentally, I'm pretty sure the way the schedule looks, if you look at your schedule, you know, it says from 1 to 2 that we'll have a vendor trade show time. And that's just to make sure people don't go to sleep after lunch. We all get a little groggy after lunch, so we'll keep you on your feet, and you get to meet people and greet people, get to know some of our fabulous vendors who are sponsoring this event. And let me just share with you briefly that for the vendors who are sponsoring this event, you have received already, many of you have received already this registration form. Should you have any questions about this, please feel free to pick up the phone and call me or email. Email works great 24/7. You can just send your question off. We'll get your questions answered. But we will have an online registration form where you can just pay online, make your deposits and things within a couple days. So all this stuff is happening fairly quickly, and I wanted to at least share with some of you how this event is happening. Then we'll go back to education classes in the afternoon. From the 5 to 7 time frame, we're going to have an event that kind of melds these two groups together. This is really the only overlapping time between these two different associations. And why are we doing that? Well, I've run the Two Rivers Real Estate Investors Association for 5.5 years, but I'm just now getting to know the Iowa Landlord Association members. Looking forward to that, but the thing is there is some overlap. Some of the Two Rivers REIA people are long-term property managers, property owners, or into rental property, and there is some crossover too, that some of the people that are in the Iowa Landlord Association like to buy properties, fix them up and hold them, sometimes flip them. So there is some crossover. And for that time, just that 2-hour time, we'll have an all-industry reception with hors d'oeuvres and a cash bar. And it'll just be a time to get to know other people from around the state. You know, we will have people coming to this event from all over the state of Iowa and many outside of the state of Iowa. And so this will be just a great time to meet people, network, get names, take business cards, form some relationships that will carry you into the next year and get some real benefits out of coming. Then at 7 o'clock, Bill Twyford, for about 90 minutes or so, he's going to talk specifically more towards the landlords, but we'll have some Two Rivers REIA people there that will be interested in this as well. But he will be offering a program of instruction to you about how to save thousands of dollars from tenants who are looking to declare bankruptcy just as soon as they move into your unit. It could cost thousands and thousands of dollars, can't get them out of there for months and months. Bill has some expertise in that area, so he'll be sharing that from 7 to 8:30. 8:30, the day's over. Go home, go to sleep, or if you're at the Stony Creek Inn, you don't have very far to go. That's a smart thing to do. If you do want to register for the Stony Creek Inn, I suggest you do that just as soon as possible. March 28th is kind of our cutoff date for the cheapest rate we have available, which is $89 a night. That's a good rate. If you check, you'll find that's very, very affordable compared to many hotels in Des Moines. Okay, so that's the end of the second day, and that really is the end of the Iowa Landlord Association portion of this 4-day period. There may be, however, some people who look at these next 2 days and say, I'd kind of like to get exposed to that. I'd like to get that information too. Depends on your schedule. We're not ruling anybody out for that. And vice versa. Some people from here may say, oh gosh, I'd like to come over here and get some of this training. That's open to you. But basically, technically, at the end of this day, that's when the Iowa Landlord Association 2-day conference is over. Then we start the following morning, still at Stony Creek Inn, Registration's from 8 o'clock to 8:30. And we have Dawn and Bill Twyford coming to do a workshop with us, not for just a 90-minute session like we've had in the past. They are going to be our exclusive speakers and trainers for 2 days. So we have Dawn and Bill Twyford coming from Colorado. Many of you who are familiar with them. Many of the members of Two Rivers REIA have been recommending them as good quality speakers for a long time. So we decided to just bring them to Des Moines rather than us have to fly out to wherever they were speaking, Las Vegas, Orlando, or something like that. So we're bringing them to Des Moines, and they will be our featured speakers. Primarily, they will be training about short sales, how to make money from properties that are in a bankruptcy, how to get them out of bankruptcy, get the trustee to abandon them, get them sold, get them bought reasonably priced, that kind of thing. Then we'll have a 1-hour luncheon, once again 12 to 1, a sit-down luncheon, but served banquet style or buffet style. In the afternoon, for about 2.5 or so hours, we'll have Bill and Don again. We need to clear out of the Stony Creek Inn by about 3 o'clock. So this one will begin to wrap up at 2:30 on Friday. And like I said, we need to be cleared out because of a wedding reception that the Stony Creek Inn is having. So don't be surprised if we start chasing folks out at 2:30 or so. Okay, but that's the end of Friday. Now the next day is a continuation of the Two Rivers REIA conference, and that is at the Papa John Center downtown in Des Moines. Registration starts at 8:30, and the day will go to about 4:30. And once again, it's Dawn and Bill, and they'll be focused on neuro-linguistic programming training, as well as all the other topics that they talk about: deal making, short sales, bankruptcy gold, those types of things. And they are very well seasoned, very familiar with buy and hold strategies, rental properties, multifamilies, all that. So but they will be applying what they're teaching is about to such things as reprogramming your brain to think a little more clearly and be a little more focused in what your investing strategies are. We'll have a lunch here. This, I'm pretty sure, will be catered by City Bakery. It'll be a nice sit-down lunch at the Papa John Center. And then we'll go back to these 2 to 3 hours of training. And this event should end by 4:30. It might end a little before, a little after. But then it's over. So then you go home and apply what you've learned over these 4 days of what I would say is a pretty intensive period of time of exposure to all kinds of investing strategies, but primarily focused on rental properties and rental property management, and then primarily focused on short sales and using NLP and negotiating techniques to make better purchases in 2012. So with that said, just go back to your registration materials, click on the info, get more info part of that page before you click on the registration part. But we'll try to make all that a lot clearer in the next few days. I thought this might be helpful to some right off the bat. Should you have any questions, like I said, call us or email us, and we'll get back to you right away and get things cleared up. Hope to see you there.